Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford News. This week's news brief, I'm Terry Stiles. This week, Beaumont hasn't given up yet. DTE is working on the area and party leads to school shutdown. All that and more, the Oxford News begins right now. The Oxford Township Board was busy last week working on a goal to have a draft of the medical marijuana use zoning. At their last meeting, they approved a motion to direct attorneys Gary Rentrop and Hans Rentrop to draft an ordinance for Planning Commission review. After a public hearing, the Planning Commission approved ordinance would then go back to the Township Board for a first reading. Currently, the Township cannot ban medical marijuana from being grown within the Township, but a recent Michigan Supreme Court case determined townships can regulate caregiver growing operations if there's a zoning ordinance in place. Under state law, any person over 21 can own 12 plants, and a caregiver of patients may grow up to 12 plants per patient with a 5-patient limit. Currently, they can also share a facility with other caregivers. If the township chooses not to enact an ordinance, a multi-growing operation could happen anywhere in the township, including residential areas. Case law says this can be regulated by ordinance. The new ordinance would only apply to caregiver growers. While most board members approved the motion, Treasurer Joe Ferrari voted no, stating there are still a lot of unanswered questions to be decided on yet. For those of you wondering what's going to happen to the Beaumont plans, last week Oxford Township Supervisor Jack Curtis asked them to release a public statement about the status of their approval to come into our community. Curtis was told that Beaumont Health continues to pursue steps to bring health care services into the community and is working to obtain the necessary approvals to build in Oxford. Currently, there are 2 pending appeals to the state of Michigan related to the proposal. Supervisor Curtis will continue to keep us updated when information is available. He also says the township has approached every franchise known to man, including Taco Bell, White Castle, Menards, Buddy's Pizza, Hollywood Market, Trader Joe's, to come into Oxford, but it's purely economics for the potential owner. He says he can't ask them to lose money if they're coming in. The supervisor says franchise businesses must follow corporate guidelines when choosing a community to build, and Oxford either doesn't have a large enough population or it's not far enough away from a sister franchise, both of which are the most franchise demographic scales used to select a single community. Supervisor Curtis also stated the cost to purchase the land, franchise, and build the building is a deterrent to most potential businesses, and he's not going to ask them to come in and lose money. He does welcome anyone who wants to step up to come on in. On that note, Supervisor Curtis says he has tried to bring in other businesses into the area, and that's not the township keeping them out, but the demographics prohibiting them. As a part of the Federal American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Oxford Township is set to receive over $2 million, and Addison Township will receive nearly $700,000. As exciting as that sounds, Oxford Township Supervisor Jack Curtis says, first, the officials need to meet and discuss what the money can and cannot be used for. Curtis also wants to know the scope of the funding and allocation allotments. According to Addison Township Clerk Pauline Bennett, both townships will have a public meeting before the funds are used. Last week, all Oxford school students found themselves at home doing remote learning to a district-wide closure. As of Monday, March 15th, more than 20 positive cases of COVID-19 were reported after a number of large social gatherings occurred the prior weekend, leading to nearly 200 students being quarantined. Assistant Superintendent of Student Services Jill Lamont said after hearing of additional potential cases, the district switched to remote learning. In an email, Lamont said evidence does not suggest transmission occurred in the school buildings or school activities. District Superintendent Tim Throne said the district plans to return to in-person as soon as it's safe to do so. Last week, we told Lake Villa and Parkhurst Estate residents of an OLSA grant program to assist residents in need of repairs of their home. Well, Oxford Township Treasurer Joe Ferrari wants to be sure residents have success in applying for the program. He is encouraging residents to not give up on calling the OLSA at 248-209-2653 or send an email to JACQUELINEW, that's Jacqueline W, at olhsa.org. You must ask for an inspection to get placed on the work list. According to Ferrari, the program is funded by community block grant money going to residents who live in township manufactured home communities in need of minor home repairs, which include roof, siding, gutters, floor, and belly repair or replacement of heating systems and defective wiring, install ramps and upgrade accessibility, kitchen and bath repair, window and door replacement, and more. There's no charge to the resident for the program, and funds are limited, so it's first come, first served. DTE wants us to know that they will be working in the areas of Oxford, Ortonville, and Clarkston, trimming trees in order to reduce the number of power outages residents and businesses have experienced in the past. Once completed, customers can also expect faster restoration times when outages are unavoidable. If you have any questions, please email at powerconcerns@dte.com. powerconcerns@dte.com. This is a kind of a personal note to us at OCTV. Last week, one of our former program volunteers, Bill Parker, editor of the Michigan Outdoor News magazine, fell out of a tree and suffered several severe injuries. He has a very long road to recovery, and family members have set up a GoFundMe page to ease the financial burden on him and his wife, Donna. Bill is a lifelong Orion resident, and as I know, many of us here in Oxford grew up or with him or with his brother John. His nephews John and Justin were Oxford Wildcats, and sister-in-law Debbie Parker has worked in the school system for years. All that to say, surrogately, Bill is one of our own, so if you would like to help him, go to the GoFundMe Bill Parker Medical and Recovery page. Thank you. And for all of you golf lovers out there, now is the time to start planning your outing, and here is one that will benefit Fork County Community Foundation, Feeding Families Forever Fund. On June 18th from 1 to 5, the foundation is holding the fundraiser at the Holly Meadows course in Capac, Michigan. The day includes 18 holes of golf and lunch registered by June 1st. By going to the website, which is www.classy.org/event at Fork County Community Foundation. Well, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories or others, you can go to the Oxford Leader newspaper. You can also go to the Charter Township of Oxford Facebook page. CJ keeps everybody updated on what's going on in the community. You can watch us on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, and our web page, which is occtv.org. I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. General Motors plans to shift all of the employees at its customer care and after-sales world headquarters in Grand Blanc, Michigan, about 900, to work at its technical center in Warren. A number of employees at the Renaissance Center in Detroit, the automaker's global headquarters, will also shift to the 710-acre Warren campus. GM spokesman David Caldwell said the exact count of Renaissance employees making the shift will be determined later this year. Not all employees may physically move to Warren. Though the company plans to bring back its remote workforce in the summer, some degree of remote work is likely to continue, Caldwell said. The automaker also plans to hire tech employees to work at the Renaissance Center. The exact number is to be determined. Some of those hires will be part of GM's plan to add 3,000 tech workers to its U.S. workforce. The hiring blitz was announced in late 2020, with employees expected to be hired by the end of the first quarter. Plans for the Grand Blanc Distribution Center are to be determined, and the shifts won't affect the company's total employee headcount, Caldwell told Automotive News. And on the recall front, Nissan North America is recalling over 126,800 vehicles because of a potential for tire failure. The recall includes certain 2019 to 2020 Altima and 2018 to 21 Titan models equipped with Continental tires. One of the tires on the vehicles in question may have been cured too long during production. Sidewalls in the overcured tires could break, leading to rapid air loss. Belt edge separation may occur, which could lead to tread and belt loss. Either condition can cause a loss of vehicle control, increasing the risk of a crash, according to the recall notice. About 1% of recalled vehicles are believed to have the defect, the company said in the document filed with NHTSA. A Nissan spokesman said the automaker is not aware of any injuries, crashes, or fatalities associated with the recalled vehicles. Nissan said it would notify all owners of potentially affected vehicles on April 28th. Dealers were set to be notified on March 12th. According to a remedy description filed with NHTSA, dealers will inspect the sidewalls of vehicle tires for the specific Department of Transportation and mold numbers on the tires involved in the recall. All matching tires are to be replaced. Continental will collect the discarded tires for quality inspection and investigation, and then dispose of them. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
With your Oxford Wildcats athletic update, I'm Teddy Rodquist. Steve Laidlaw's boys basketball program dropped their regular season finale to the Birmingham Seaholm Maples 52-42 on March 16th to round out their regular season at 4-9 and 1-5 in the OAA Blue. Oxford will host the Michigan High School Athletic Association District Number 4, which begins tomorrow, Tuesday, March 23rd. Oxford will play the Romeo Bulldogs in the quarterfinals at 7 p.m., with Lake Orion and Waterford Kettering squaring off in the other quarterfinal at 5 p.m. The winner of the Oxford-Romeo game will advance to play the Rochester Adams Highlanders in the semifinals on Thursday, March 25th. This will be the second meeting this season between the Wildcats and Bulldogs, as Romeo won the first 45-43 on a three-pointer as time expired back on February 20th. The girls' basketball program finished with an inverse record of the boys, 9-4 and 7-3 in the OAA Blue, good for a second-place finish in the league standings. Rachel Breyer's team rounded out their regular season with a pair of home games on March 18th and 19th, winning the former over the Rochester Falcons, which doubled as senior night 26-23, and dropping the latter to the Troy Athens Redhawks. For their districts, the girls will head northwest to Grand Blanc High School, where they will battle the host Bobcats on Wednesday, March 24th at 5 p.m. Fresh off capturing their second league title in program history and their first since 2010-2011, the Oxford Avondale United hockey program was dealt some unfortunate news on the eve of their March 16th regional opener, as due to the coronavirus, the team was not medically cleared to continue. The coronavirus also canceled the team's final 3 regular season contests, including their March 8th date with the Lapeer Lightning, which was scheduled to serve as senior night. Even though their season is over, realizing the importance of senior night, the team plans to hold a ceremony at the Detroit Skating Club sometime this week to honor their 12 members of the class of 2021 and their parents. And then in spring sports news, Dave Herrick's baseball program unveiled their schedule on March 19th, which will see the team begin their season on April 6th against Troy Athens. This will be the first action for Oxford's baseball team since 2019, as the 2020 season was canceled due to the coronavirus. From the Oxford Community Television News Desk, I'm Teddy Rodquist.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Several marine animals, including green sea turtles and tiger sharks and Antarctic fur seals, have been observed swimming in circles, but the reason for the behavior is a mystery. Tomoko Narazaki at the University of Tokyo in Japan unexpectedly discovered the circling behavior while studying the navigation of green sea turtles off the coast of Maheli, one of the islands of the Comoros in the Indian Ocean, and the Japanese island of Chichijima in the Pacific Ocean. She had been tracking the homing capabilities of green turtles when they were moved away from their breeding ground and noticed that the tracking data showed multiple circling events when the turtles returned to the coastal waters off their nesting beaches. One turtle swam in large circles 76 times, with each loop taking 16 to 20 seconds. Initially, Narazaki thought that the tracking tag might have been broken. The tags used on these turtles had a much higher spatial resolution compared with most GPS trackers. They were able to trace animals' 3D movements down to the meter, and they update every second by recording depth, acceleration, and magnetic information. Narazaki reported her findings to colleagues who used the same 3D tracking tags on other marine animals. In their own data on other species, they found similar circling behaviors in tiger sharks, king penguins, Antarctic fur seals, a whale shark, and Cuvier's beaked whale. For example, 272 circling events were observed in 4 tiger sharks tagged off the coast of Hawaii. In each circling event, the tiger shark circled between 2 and 30 times, swimming at a relatively constant depth. On average, each circle was 9.4 meters in diameter, and the behavior lasted 5.6 minutes. These underwater loops could be related to foraging, similar to how humpback whales turn to capture prey while bubble net feeding, says Narazaki. But the fur seals, king penguins, and Cuvier's beaked whale swam in circles near the ocean surface while they normally feed at depth. Circling for navigation is a potential explanation. Homing turtles did the turning behavior at seemingly navigational important points, says Narazaki. How green turtles navigate isn't well understood, but previous research has shown that they are able to detect magnetic fields. This turning behavior seemed to be well suited for this magnetic detection, she says. Circling might allow the turtles to detect magnetic fields from different directions, and repeating the behavior could provide multiple measurements to help calibrate their position. Narazaki and her colleagues plan to study the behavior in more animals and in other species, as the sample size was small in this study, and also aim to confirm whether navigation is the reason behind the circling. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.